So, I've been receiving some messages here and there about me continuing my coverage of the Division universe, and I do appreciate those kind words. Unfortunately, I can't play the Division 2 due to the crashing issues, which I have long documented here on the channel, and I thought I made it clear that after 3 months of dealing with those daily crashing issues, I was ready to move on, which I have. But I will continue to cover the franchise as it is a part of my gaming DNA and has been ever since the original Division game dropped in 2016. What's going on, everybody? It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and I know the talk around the Division 2 is centered on the title update 16 PTS that just finished up with Phase 1. So I'm going to give you a live reaction and discussion of those proposed changes and some feedback I have heard from those that can actually access the game. Thanks again for all your continued support. The channel is now somewhere in the mid 96,000 subscribers area, and if you haven't yet hit that big, beautiful sub button, please do so, and don't forget to ring the bell to receive all my future upload notifications. Let's go. Sorry I don't have any newer footage. Unfortunately, I am not playing the game and I have not installed the PTS. Both are going to crash on my PC, which has not been addressed yet. But I'm just going to read through the patch notes here and give, like I said, my reactions to what I see. First off, we knew that the 4 difficulties for Countdown were going to be included and tested here in PTS Phase 1. Normal, hard, challenging, heroic. From what I'm told, normal and hard with a medium to somewhat competent build are pretty easy to do. Challenging is what we have now, so if you have a pretty good min-maxed build, you're supposed to be able to handle that. From what I've heard, though, heroic is an absolute pain in the ass. I've heard the hunters are absolute bullet sponges, being just murked by the entire team, and they don't seem to go down. Far more difficult than the legendary hunters on Summit, so I wonder what they're going to do with that with PTS Phase 2. Countermeasures was always kind of a point of contention for me with Countdown because I've always had an issue with directives and then with countermeasures in this game that are constantly hampering agents' abilities, and that was ever so evident, I think, in Countdown, where everything, especially if they had like the explosive resistance and they had all sorts of resistances, I'm saying the enemies, it made it much more difficult until you got to the point where you could actually deactivate those. Anyway, the new countermeasures are actually listed in here. They have skill suppression, explosive resistance, reload speed, armor protection, hostile skill damage resistance, agents hazard resistance, headshot resistance, and critical resistance. So those are all bonuses for the enemies that we're taking on unless you deactivate these, which I don't agree with any of this. But anyway, to give you an idea, let's see. It says deactivation benefit. This is for critical resistance. It says enemies reduce incoming critical chance by 25%, and then the deactivation benefit, enemies no longer reduce incoming critical chance by 25%. Agents gain plus 25% critical chance. So you can see it was badly skewed in favor of the enemies. Yeah, I would like to see these further adjusted. I think we should start off on an even playing field with the enemy types, and then if we go and do these countermeasures, we should then buff our characters. We shouldn't start at a playing field if sometimes we're at minus 100% or something like that, and then we have to deactivate something just to kind of get back to normal. Hopefully this is all making sense to you. I've never really agreed with these things. If they're going to use them, then you know, they're buffs, I think. That's the least how I think it should go. Other changes to prevent the players from being kicked out of the group by the group leader before and during the extraction. The feature is now disabled. Great. New gear sets. I've got a little bit to say on these, but let's find out what we got. We've got Arquebus Brazos, which is a gear brand set. 1 piece equipped gives you plus 10% skill haste. I like that. 2 pieces equipped gives you plus 1 skill tier. That's kind of like the Karg TDI custom pistol, I guess. And 3 pieces equipped gives you 20% ammo capacity. Kind of useless there with the 3 pieces, but 1 and 2 pieces are that could be interesting for a skill build. I also know that not listed here in the patch notes is a named holster, I believe it is, and that is the AB named holster. I don't know the actual name of it. That has plus 20% weapon damage, but I've been reading some conflicting reports. I believe it is you cannot re-roll the core attributes away from, I think it's whatever skill tier or something like that. So I know some people were talking about, I'm just going to go and roll weapon damage on there, and it's going to be the new meta holster. From what I've read, or I'm seeing some conflicting reports, if you could actually put weapon damage in the core attribute, that would, of course, be the new meta holster, because it would be weapon damage plus 20% weapon damage down in the regular attributes. But I hear the new AB holster is supposed to be pretty good. Also included in here, the new gear sets is Umbra Initiative gear set. 2 pieces equipped gives you plus 15% critical chance. Okay. 3 pieces equipped gives you plus 30% reload speed. Okay. And 4 pieces, and it's got like 2 different talents here. It's kind of hocus pocus. From the shadows and into the light. While in cover, gain 10 stacks per second up to 50. Each stack will give you plus 1% critical damage increase. And even more RPM. Into the light, while out of cover and in combat, gain 10 stacks per second up to 50. Each stack will give you plus 5% armor regen. Okay. Chest and backpack bonuses. They have chest, increased stacks from 50 to 100. That's pretty standard with these gear sets. And backpack increases stacks from 50 to 100. All right. So maybe leave me some feedback as far as anyone that's actually trying out Umbra Initiative. It sounds like they're trying to do something as far as like an SMG crit stack build. Then again, it doesn't have to be an SMG. It could be like an AR, but they're trying to push you into cover and then out of cover, while in cover from the shadows, out of cover into the light. So maybe you can leave me some feedback as far as what you feel about that one. Moving on to see down here, exotic weapons. You have the Dr. Home, which is the exotic variation of the M1A QCB. Which is the close quarters combat rifle. There's also the Bloody Knuckles exotic gloves, and Busy Little Bee, which is an exotic pistol inspired by Lightning Rod. Dr. Home, talent Dr. Home. Shooting an enemy with Dr. Home applies a mark. Okay, when killed, marked target drops a plus 15% armor repair kit. This kit doesn't give bonus armor. Okay, only the weapon owner can see the armor repair kit. Only the player once the player picks the armor kit, I think it's supposed to be picks up the armor kit, all party members receive the heal. Okay. So you mark a target, you kill a target, it drops an armor repair kit that only you can see when you pick it up. It does not give bonus armor. It does give 15% armor to, I guess, everyone. So if they're below 100% natural armor, not bonus armor, it heals them up by 15%. Bloody Knuckles, talent over the top, throwing a grenade or striking an enemy with a melee attack. I've never liked these melees. Melee damage in this game is so underpowered. Activates the Seeing Red buff. Seeing Red grants plus 25% weapon damage and plus 100% melee damage. I mean, I messed around with these with Lady Death, and I think there was the Claws Out holster, and I tried an all melee build once. It was awful. Anyway, Seeing Red lasts 20 seconds and has a 60-second cooldown. Damn. While in cooldown, striking an enemy with a melee attack or hitting an enemy with the effect of a grenade will complete the cooldown instantly. Okay. That just became a way more interesting. So, Seeing Red gets 25% weapon damage. When it goes into cooldown, if you melee an enemy or hit them with the effects of a grenade, it takes away the cooldown. That could be interesting. Depends on what attributes it comes with. I can't see it. And then finally, Busy Little Bee. Each shot to a different target increases weapon damage of a player. Keep shooting at different targets. Each shot increases plus 10% to a max of 200%. Players have 5 seconds to shoot between each target until they lose the stacks and must do it again. All these requirements, it's just so much. How about, you hit 5 headshots, you get 20% damage. That would be kind of cool. Anyway, these are just, there's so much verbiage to these. When the time is over or the player shoots the same target, they will gain an extra plus 5% damage for each stack. They were able to get onto the next shot. The stacks will remain even if your user changes weapons. Okay, so I don't know. Bloody Knuckles sounds interesting to me on the exotic gloves. Personally, if I were playing the PTS, I'd probably pass on Dr. Home and Busy Little Bee. Named weapons, I've in a group DM with some hardcore Division 2 agents. We've been talking, apparently, the lefty ACS 12 shotgun is an absolute animal. I expect that to probably get hammered for PTS Phase 2, but Talent, perfect sledgehammer, dealing damage with a grenade, applies a mark on target. Targets with marks take plus 40% more damage to armor and 10% movement speed, so it's minus 10% movement speed. They've also got it on stage left, so they've got it on the SOCOM M1A, which is Talent Perfect Sledgehammer. Does the exact same thing, but on a SOCOM M1A. But from what I'm told, the lefty is an absolute animal. Talents, they've added in Sledgehammer and Perfect Sledgehammer, which you hear about, dealing damage with a grenade. Applies a mark on target. Sledgehammer does 30% more damage and reduces movement speed of targets by 5%. And mark disappears after 10 seconds. Perfect Sledgehammer takes that from 30 to 40%. And the reduction in movement speed from 5 to 10%. Okay. Strongholds, we knew this was coming. They were adding on legendary difficulty for Tidal Basin and Manning National Zoo. From what I've heard, Tidal Basin is actually kind of manageable on solo legendary difficulty. Manning National Zoo has presented much more of a difficult situation, especially the ending, but I see some of you are starting to post over on Twitter that you've actually completed it, so kudos to you. You've got the builds and the talent, and you've actually got the patience to do it. QOL, or quality of life changes, added server time in the main menu. Okay, I guess that's like the time of day. Added a quantity preview, removed an internal of randomization for material caches, added an option to hide loot beams in the gameplay settings. Okay. Move materials for Uzina and Heartbreaker gear sets to the correct category. Added 2 Season 9 exotic Dread Edict and Blue Screen to Haven and Boo display walls. Added an option to sell from stash that each vendor players can sell stuff to. And exotics can drop in the open world from random NPCs and any activities. I've also seen that on PTS Phase 1, raid exclusive exotics were actually dropping as well, and I've seen responses over on Twitter that was a bug, that's not going to happen, which I am a supporter of. Let's say this, I'm 50-50. The raids have been out so long now that I don't know. I don't know what hurting. What damage is it going to do to actually put the Eagle Bearer into the exotic loot pool for the open world? I mean, that raid has been out forever. Once again, the Ravenous and the Regulus, I don't know. I don't think it hurts anything. I know some people are like, man, I ground out and I did 400 million Dark Hours raids before I got the Eagle Bearer. I'm not trying to rub it in. I got it on my first one. That was back when I ran a raid with Like a Hero and his clan. Still got the pics for it, so I've actually got the evidence that I got it on my first one. I was just lucky, but yeah, I guess I could understand. Maybe the Eagle Bearer needs to be excluded, but Ravenous and Regulus, I don't know. Maybe just include those. Maybe it's time. You know what I mean? Anyway, materials, and resources. They raised the cap on 3-man resources, food, water, and components up to 500. Cap raised for all crafting, optimization materials, and DZ credits. And then they got this big TU16 post of what they've raised it up to. And then there was an added note by Ubi Lucipus down here that ongoing directive gear set changes were not initially in this PTS phase. I guess the patch notes originally, but they're down here. Shooting a status affected enemy will apply a mark, which I thought we already knew with ongoing directive, but killing a marked enemy grants a full clip of hollow point ammo for your active weapon and half a clip of the agent's active weapon to the rest of the party. Hollow point ammo amplifies weapon damage by 20% and applies bleed on hit. Mark lasts for 10 seconds. That's definitely sounds a lot better than what ongoing directive used to be. It has been forever and a day that I used OD gear at all. If I remember correctly, though, you had to mark targets, you killed targets, and then they dropped the ammo, and you had to run over there and pick it up, and it was never enough. But amp damage is great, and also applies a bleed on hit, which I don't know. It's been so long since I used ongoing directive. I don't want to say I think that's the way it used to work, because it may or may not be. But yeah, there's the full review on the PTS patch notes. I'm actually going to jump over to I guess it's the known issues board, and we'll close up this video on that. I'm now over on this Trello known issues board. I'll include a link to this. This is where community members and the devs are able to post what they're working on. We're able to post known issues that we think need to be worked on. Anyway, the thing that I'm looking at are two things, and that's of course, the Delta 03 errors for PC. It says over here, reported. And if I open this, it says description. Performing normal gameplay can cause the player to receive random Delta 03 errors when playing on PC. The recent investigation has concluded that PC crashes have dropped more than 60% after the 15.4 patch. More fixes to come with TU16. I'll tell you that even if they've dropped by 60%, maybe I'm in that 40%, because you saw what happened to me and why I uninstalled the game. So I don't see that really doing anything. And then over here it says this one, which category is this? It says fix ready. The most predominant cause behind the PC stability issues has been identified and is now being tested. Others plan to be fixed with TU16. Yeah, once again, no dice for me. It did not work. So that's unfortunate, but looks like there's some interesting stuff going on with Phase 1 of TU16. Of course, I always love reading your feedback down in the comment section below. Please leave your comments. Keep it respectful. I'll do my best to answer any questions I have. I may have to refer to other people that have actually had the time in the PTS. If you haven't done so already, please smash that sub button and ring the bell to stay up to date on all my latest uploads. Also, if you could rate and or share this video, it would be greatly appreciated, with the YouTube algorithms. You can find and follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and over in my community Discord. Links to all my socials in the video description below. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.